all applied on, you know, all the by power lines.
But it'll be a 16-quarter.
Yeah.
Yep. So again? Good evening. Everyone's coming. We're gonna have a pledge of allegiance, then we'll have a moment of silence for Richard Green. Former town of Walk Hill, Dollar Bus employee who passed away. And for Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated a couple of weeks ago. Pledge allegiance.
Of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll start with our first public hearing. Madam Clerk, can you read the announcement?
Please take notice of the public hearing to be held by the council of on September 25th, 2025, at 7:25 p.m. at Oakland Town Hall, regarding the adoption of a local law in the town of Oakland for the 2026 fiscal year, with the overall federal municipal law section 3C, which requires that all local municipalities calculate a local tax levy growth at the lesser of 2%, or the rate of inflation defined as the average monthly national consumer price index, calculated by the U.S. Labor Department for the 12-month period ending 6 months prior to the start of the fiscal year. Any resident of town of Walk Hill is entitled to be heard upon said proposal of public hearing. Copies are available for review in Walk Hill Town Hall, 99 Taylor Drive, Golden Gate, Manhattan. The town of Walk Hill will give every effort to ensure the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodation should contact the town clerk. By way of the town board, the town of Walk Hill is in the
Mr. Supervisor and Board, the public hearing notice was posted and published. And with respect to this law, New York State law allows local municipalities and school districts to pass, and in the case of municipalities, a local law every year to exceed the tax cap if they deem it necessary. School districts do it by resolution because they don't pass local laws. And the town has, as I'm sure you'll explain, the town has done this in prior years. It must be done, if the town is going to exceed the tax cap, it must be done prior to or at the time that the budget is adopted. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll start the public hearing. Like we stated, this is just a precaution that we've done every year. In case something happens and we have to go above the cap. And please come up to the mic, state your name for the record. Anyone on Zoom? Anyone in the audience? Okay,
Town board members.
I will. Any of the town board?
I have a comment. So as the supervisor has stated and the attorney, this is done every year during budget time, as probably as a defensive cap. Historically, when this was instituted, the town has never gone above the tax cap. Regardless of the budget that's presented, we do our due diligence in ensuring that our numbers are way below the tax cap. And so again, this is not implying that we plan on going over the cap. It's more of a procedural thing than anything.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else?
Nope.
Anybody else in the audience? Anyone on Zoom? That being stated, make motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Please take notice that has been introduced before the town of Waltham, New York, a local law entitled Local Law Repealing the Local Law Adopted Pursuant to New York State Cannabis Law. Paragraph 131, opting out of licensing and establishing retail cannabis dispensaries and on-site cannabis consumption establishments within the town of Waltham, which local law would now permit to hosting retail cannabis dispensaries and on-site cannabis consumption establishments within its boundaries in accordance with applicable zoning regulations. Please take further notice that the public hearing be held by the town of Waltham on Thursday, September 25th, 2025, at 7:25 p.m. at the Waltham Town Hall located at 99 Tower Drive, Middletown, New York, to review and consider the aforesaid local law. Any resident of the town of Waltham should have to be heard concerning the above mentioned local law. Such public hearing copies are available for review at Waltham Town Hall, 99 Tower Drive, Building A, Middletown. The town of Waltham will make every effort to ensure the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and or reasonable accommodations should contact the town clerk. By order of the town board of the town of Waltham, Louise Negrassi, town clerk.
I'll note that the public hearing notice was posted and published. And I will also note that the purpose here is back in 2021, when cannabis sales dispensaries were legalized in the state of New York, municipalities had the right to opt out of license or permitting licensed establishments for both retail sale and for on-site consumption within their municipalities. They could opt out of that and say, we don't want it. At this point, the town board has enacted regulations to control the locations by virtue of some zoning changes with respect to allowing such establishments if and when they decide to opt back in. So that's what the purpose of this local law is, should the town board wish to opt back in. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Therefore, public hearing is open, opting in. Back in, I believe it was 21, the town opted out with the option of one day maybe going back, and it's come now that in 2025, the town board has instituted zoning within the town, in case we decided to opt in, and that's what we're looking to do today. Anyone in the audience wish to speak, please come up.
We did not,
We opt out.
but not to that. The law tonight is to consider opting in,
Yes,
repealing the opt-out law.
did I say that? I didn't say different, did I?
And that's the gist of it.
Oh, okay. Anyone in the audience? Anyone on Zoom? Anyone in the audience? Anyone on Zoom? Any board members?
So, so just for clarity again, and to repeat what the attorney and the supervisor said, back in 21, when this was first introduced, the premise was that if you opted in, and keep in mind, if you opted in and anything went wrong, or you became basically, for lack of a better description, you became the guinea pig of this first beta test of opting in and for retail. So we had no controls, we had no parameters. neither from the state or ourselves. We had no zoning. And we had no municipal regulations to this. And if you opted in, at that point, the law was that if anything goes wrong, you can't opt out. If you didn't like what you were getting, if you didn't like how it was going, you were not allowed as a municipality to opt out. So our safety net was to not opt in and work on the controls, knowing that down the line, the state will eventually tell all municipalities, you know, you have to do this, just like the liquor law, just like bars and everything else. I commend this board for doing the due diligence. We have created zoning. We have created controls. We have created permit regulations. And part of the zoning is that, and this is strictly retail. It will not be near any schools, any playgrounds, and so on. And they will have to abide by the zoning that was created and voted on. So at this point, I do feel comfortable with what we have. We have I welcome the revenue that it's going to bring in, especially that we're looking to establish this ambulance district that will require additional funds from all of us as taxpayers. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Oh, I got one.
Okay,
So I would just like to say the same thing. When originally it was presented, the concern was there was absolutely no regulation even from the state, let alone that Walk Hill had in place. So the right thing to do at that point was to pump the brakes and see what would happen. And since then, if you notice, there's 2 dispensaries in our neighboring town, Wayanda, with no real issues. And, you know, we did contact the people over there to find out if there was any concerns, what kind of revenue was coming in. There is nothing like that was originally projected when it was first presented. They were throwing figures like $1 million a year. I mean, there's nowhere near that, but maybe a couple $100,000 is a good, you know, conservative number, you know, for a busy dispensary that the town would get in tax revenue. So there is some money to come in. And the other concern too was, you know, without regulations, like you heard the other Councilman Valentin mentioned that there's no, and the attorney, there was no real place that you couldn't have it. So now we've restricted it to locations where, you know, it's not going to be an issue to any residences, you know, any sensitive businesses or things like that. So it's a little more palatable, and obviously that any revenue generation we can get will offset any taxes, so we don't have to, you know, lay that burden on the taxpayers. So just want everyone to know that I still don't like it, still not my vote to say, you know, this is something we have to do, but I think that, you know, looking at the best balance for what we have to do for Walk Hill, you know, like Secretary Valentin always say, you know, is this going to benefit the town and how? You know, I kind of think that the revenue generation is probably going to offset any minor negatives that might occur. Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to add there other than, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, no matter how you look at this, New York State recognizes this as like alcohol. So it was gonna come here regardless, and may have taken a little while, but it was coming. And yeah, I do anticipate roughly 200,000+ a year in revenue. And yes, it will go toward the budget and help with the ambulance. So like Councilman Johnson said, I'm not too happy about it either, but it's reality. It's the world we live in today. And this is the best thing to do at this point in time now that we have the regulations put in place. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone in the audience? Step up, state your name, please.
Dave Schley from Circleville.
You got,
Not the reason why I'm here today.
sir, is that
but-
green button? Sir, is that green button?
Right in
That
front.
thing, so the button goes.
Uh,
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
That's it.
Dave, what was your last name?
Schley, SCHLEY, and Circleville. I'm glad that you're all taking a good stance on this, with regulating it. You don't want to be making a mistake or in something you can't get back out of. Were you thinking of allowing it to provide revenue to the town in like an agricultural zone? Did that ever come up, or?
No, well, that's two different things, really. This
Okay.
is the retail sale,
Right,
right? We do have, God, I remember, up in the fourth ward, Eric.
Yeah, this is actually right when we got on board.
Yeah.
Board, the previous board approved facility where they were gonna, grow marijuana and then process it.
For municipal
Right, and it
purposes.
was mainly for
Medical.
like, medical purposes, and it was like in pill
Right.
form and stuff, so that project was approved. It was actually a decent project.
Believe it was called Valley Agri-Suit.
It was Valley Agriculture, yeah, I was getting that.
Metal.
It's changed hands several times and it's kind of in the old pattern. But they did build one of the buildings nowhere near the size. But of the piece of property, it was almost 100 acres. Most of it was gonna stay, green space. So there's just gonna be a small manufacturing facility in the center and they're gonna grow everything inside. So this really has nothing to do with that. This is just for the retail sale.
right.
So like if you had a farm in RA and you wanted to do something with it, that's a totally different story. This is nothing to do with that.
Oh, okay. I just wondered. Think you're all doing a good job and, not rushing into anything.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone on Zoom? Anyone in the audience? Motion to close the public hearing,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, next, so one of the main things, we have in town is our roads. We have a lot of roads and a couple of months ago, I had the opportunity to meet Howard Mills. My circumstance used to be the town supervisor here in the town of Walker, so he knows these roads pretty well. And he's with a group called PMG, Pavement Management. And he presented to the board at one of the work session. And a program that definitely is gonna help this board going forward make good decisions, better decisions in regards to paving regarding the roads. We do have a lot of roads, but we do a lot of paving. We even got our own paver. So he's gonna do a presentation and I've seen the program. I don't know if I'm gonna call it a program, but the dashboard that it has, and it's amazing what technology has become in 2025 to show us the conditions of all town roads only. This is only town roads, so it's important people realize that we have county and state roads in the town. These are not that, it's just town walking roads. Without further ado, I'm gonna introduce Home Supervisor Howard Mills.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board, the public, thank you very much. So Howard Mills, Pavement Management Group, very happy to present our report on our pavement management program. This evening.
Larry, do you have that camera pointing?
What?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You only afford one mouse.
So for the purpose of this presentation, I'm gonna keep it brief. I'll try to keep it like 5-6 minutes, give the highlights, and then have to take any questions, of course. But it is important for people to know that a term I'm going to be using is the Pavement Condition Index, or PCI. This is a methodology of grading the condition of a road. It's a scale from 1 to 100, 1 being a very poor road, 100 being a very new road. It was developed by the United States Army Corps of Engineers in the 1950s, and it's a widely used methodology. So that is what we're using. I need that. Thank you very much. So if you take a look at this dashboard, our process begins. Okay, so how we begin is we go out and we take high definition video of the entire roadway network. We videotape all the roads in the town of Walkill. I want to say a special thanks to Commissioner Dawley. This is a very collaborative process. So throughout this process, we've been sharing data with the commissioner. He's been checking it. He's been looking at the roads, telling us what we missed, where we need to go back, had a lot of input and feedback. And now we're at the point where we can present this dashboard We have a written report for the town board. So here you're looking at the town of Wallkill. We have in the town of Wallkill 168.2 miles of town roads. Currently, your pavement condition index is a 61. It's not great. It's not where we want to be. We want to move that up. And the backlog, $16.5 million. What that means is that if the town of Wallkill were to undertake all of this work at one time, which of course you cannot do, that's the type of investment that we need in our municipal roadway. And we get those figures working with the commissioner, unit pricing. So these are pretty accurate numbers. What you're seeing with the colors, okay, the blue roads, these are the excellent. These are the very, very good roads in the town of Wallkill. You'll see the PCI is reset. So now we're looking at a 90. All these roads have an average PCI of 95, which is very good. There's 13.2 miles in the town of Wallkill. And the backlog there, this is an important figure, $230,000. I'm going to come to this in a minute to explain what the whole art of pavement management is. For $230,000, you can maintain these very, very good roads for a very, very long time in an excellent state of repair. These are good roads in Wallkill. Fair roads in Wallkill. And you see the numbers are saying, so we have that's a big number. That's 74 miles of your total 168 mile network. 75 miles of them fall into that category. Now, of course, everybody always wants to see what are the really bad roads. So here's a couple examples. Now, here's the power of this program. You can go in anywhere in this dashboard, click on any road, and here comes up a thumbnail. So we're looking at Midland Lake Road, section 1. We break them into logical sections between intersections. So here we're looking at Midland Lake Road. You've got your length, your width, your square footage. You've got obviously data like the asphalt. This is a PCI of 5, very, very poor road. We have a recommendation in that attached. Now we're not telling the town of Wallkill what to do. This is data that the commissioner will take and evaluate, work with the town board. But we are giving a recommendation that you need a structural reconstruction of this road. We're telling you that it's going to cost $11,000. And you can go and at any point play the video and see what we're talking about. Now you're looking at a road that's in very poor condition. You're looking at their alligator cracking, block cracking. There are 20 recognized road distresses that go into the pavement condition index. Every one of those distresses has to be ranked from low, medium to high severity. So it's a very complicated evaluation process, but that's the type of data that we are giving to the town. One of the things that you want to do with pavement management, and this is something that I remember kind of inheriting back in 1994 when I became town supervisor, is that every year towns, a lot of municipalities, they begin their process by looking at, these are the worst roads in the town. These are the roads that you're getting all the complaints from. These are where people are calling. This is what the commissioner hears about every day. So in Wallkill right now, you've got 40 miles of very poor roads with a very significant backlog. You need $6.5 million to address these problems. The problem is when a municipality every year approaches, well, let's spend a lot of money here, and they throw a lot of money at these roads. But then the mentality, it's called worst to first. And I saw this. I know the pressure that you guys get. I know the phone calls that you get. You get phone calls from constituents. Hey, fix my road, fix my road. You fix a road and then you move on because we've just invested a lot of money in this road and you don't then go back and do what you want to do, which is every year in pavement management, you want to begin your process by looking at the roads that are in excellent condition. Here we have roads representing 53 miles, almost a third of the Wallkill network with a very good PCI of 84. And for $240K, if you go out and spend the money and make sure that you're doing the maintenance to keep these roads in good shape, these roads will now have their lives extended very, very significantly, and that benefits every taxpayer. It benefits everyone because now you're keeping these roads in good shape and you're preventing the going to the very, very significant expense. So what you want to do is over time with pavement management, you're spending more of your money in the blue, the green, the yellow, and less in the red and the orange. Now, every year you go and you work on the failed roads, but then you need to go back and help them maintain the condition of the roads. So this is an example I presented you all with a written report that you have, and we have a PDF of it as well. One of the things that we do in our report is we're trying to give municipalities the data to answer very difficult constituent concerns and questions. So one of the things that I can remember having this experience when we were doing this back in 1994 in Wallkill. So you've got two roads, both in bad condition. And one is prioritized above the other because of traffic count, more residents on it. People understand that. So the people on the other road, they're not happy, but they understand why you're ranking this road higher because there's more houses there. There's more people there. They get it. That road gets fixed. Their road has not been touched. They understand it. What they don't understand, and what we help you give the data, is that a year after this other road has been rebuilt, the other constituent on the road that's not yet had their road fixed, now they see the town is back out there. And they're doing a treatment called a rejuvenation. So we have all of the different treatments that you have for roads broken down by different categories. You have crack sealing, you have general maintenance, you have preservation, you have rejuvenation, you have structural. And here you see, right here, you just hover over the data. We're giving you data. The town of Wallkill has $9.8 million of structural opportunities. You've got $231,000 of rejuvenation opportunities. These are inexpensive treatments. You go to a new road, you pave it, then you go back, you seal it, keep the water out, you keep the moisture out. What the constituent doesn't understand is that you haven't touched my roads yet, but now you're back at this other road and you're doing another treatment. Now that may generate a phone call to the commissioner. Why are you already out? Well, you haven't yet been to my road. You just fixed this road. It's brand new and you're spending money on this road? Yes. And you want to do that because it makes sense for the entire tax base. And the best thing is that when you get to the other person's road, you can make that commitment that we will keep with the program. So the idea with a pavement management program is this is a long-term partnership. We seek to become your partner. This is not just, here's your report, Town of Wallkill, we're done. We will be working with the commissioner throughout the process. At the end of his construction season, when he has done all the road work that he has done in this budget, he will give us the data. We will update your pavement condition index. We can attach a deterioration curve to those roads that we did not get any work on. So the PCI that you see here is now 61. You will see that number start to go up immediately. It'll start ticking up. So we're working with the town of Montgomery, your neighboring town, and we've already pushed their PCI up by 3 points in 1 year without them spending more money. It's the ability to prioritize the roads, use the data to explain the decisions that you're making, and address some of the very difficult, justified questions that you get from the public, and empower the town board to make these decisions. So let me stop there. I mean, I've given you kind of highlights. Certainly I could talk about this for a lot longer, but I wanted to show you the dashboard. You see the power of the video. Again, you go anywhere in here and you're just getting all sorts of data that will be very helpful to the commissioner and the town board as you work on your infrastructure program. Dash.
Howard, you mentioned Montgomery, just for the audience, so they know what other municipalities locally are you working with or they're using this successfully?
Okay, so in Orange County, town of Montgomery, town of Warwick, now town of Wallkill, Putnam County. We are doing a number of municipalities in Westchester County, town of Greenberg, town of Cortland, villages of Briarcliff Manor, Larchmont, Rockland County, town of Clarkstown. So we're very big on Long Island.
I was just gonna mention that.
Yeah, so we have actually a New York State approved piggyback contract with the town of Smithtown, which is a very large town in Suffolk County. And we're a national company. So this company started in Ohio. When I found the company, invested in it, they had not really grown much beyond Ohio and Florida, and now we are national in scale.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
George, if I may. Howard, thank you for
Yes.
coming.
Commissioner.
For the category 4 and 5 roads, can you pull up what the backlog cost on that is?
Okay, so. oh. Okay, so. 4 and 5. Your backlog is $6.7 million for 40.5 miles of road.
And just so I can clarify for everybody, so they understand what that 6 million really means. That number that I gave Howard for that is just the material cost. And that is assuming that we do all of that work. So just so everybody understands. We can't, by a magic wands, just throw $7 million at this and get everything fixed because we internally could not do all that work at one time. So that's the lower end of that cost, just so everybody understands.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mills, thank you for coming out during this. I'm looking forward for the town utilizing this going forward. I've always said that we try to be as fair as possible with every ward. But one of the things that might happen with this program is some wards might get more roads than others. And, but at the end, the town, completely will be in a better shape. So, thank you.
Well,
Appreciate
we very much appreciate partnering with the town of Wallkill. Look forward to working with you and coming back and watching this pavement condition index score go up in the coming years.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Howard.
Okay, next we have public participation, agenda items only. Anyone in the audience? Anyone on Zoom? Seeing none, any correspondence, Madam Clerk?
We have 2 pieces of correspondence. One is a thank you note from the Wallkill Farms Homeowners Association. George, thank you so much for coming out to our community day. We truly appreciate everything you and your staff do for our community at large. We look forward to more endeavors in the future. And that is from April, who is their director of the Homeowners Association. And then we also have a note from the Secretary of Kiwanis Club of Middletown. Dear Supervisor Serrano, on behalf of the Kiwanis Club of Middletown, I'd like to thank you so much for all your help and support you gave us with our Flags for Heroes project. Giving us the assistance of the Department of Public Works is invaluable for the success of this project. Everyone needs just to look around and find heroes in our community. We thank you for helping us so others can acknowledge the heroes in their lives. Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. Thank you again for helping us to try and fulfill that mission. And that is from Berta Croxland, who is the secretary.
Very good. Just so everyone was aware that Flags for Hero, if you travel from a Price Shopper, from late August to mid-September, it put 100 flags out there. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful sight to see those flags in the wind. It's just beautiful. And I appreciate the Kiwanis putting that out. They've been doing it every year. It's a great sight. All right. Next, Madam Clerk, we've got the resolutions.
Resolution of Town of Walkville adopting local law number 8 of 2025 to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law section 3C for the fiscal year 2026. Resolved the town of Walkville hereby adopts said local law number 8 entitled a local law to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law section 3C for the fiscal year 2026, a copy of which is attached here to and made part of this resolution. And further resolved that the town clerk be and is hereby directed to enter into local law under the local law in the minutes of this meeting in the local law book of the town of Walkville, and to give due notice of the adoption of the local laws to the Secretary of State of New York and the Office of the New York State Comptroller. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor Serrano.
Yes.
Resolution of town of Walkville adopting local law number 9 of 2025 entitled a local law repealing the local law adopted pursuant to New York State Cannabis Law, section 131, opting out of licensing and establishing retail cannabis dispensaries and on-site cannabis consumption establishments within the town of Walkville. Resolved the town of Walkville hereby adopts local law number 9 of 2025 entitled a local law repealing the local law adopted pursuant to New York State Cannabis Law, section 131, opting out of licensing and establishing retail cannabis dispensaries and on-site cannabis consumption establishments within the town of Walkville. A copy of which is attached here to be a part of this resolution. And further resolved, the town clerk be is hereby directed to enter said local law in the minutes of this meeting and the local law book of the town of Walkville, and give due notice of adoption of the local law to the Secretary of State of New York.
So moved.
What was that on-site consumption piece?
What?
What was the on-site consumption piece?
Repealing the local law that opted the town out of on-site consumption and retail establishments.
But we're not doing on-site consumption. This is not on-site consumption. We're only talking about retail.
That is something I was told when I did, but I was told to repeal the law. So if you don't want to,
No, we're not creating smoke shops and, this is strictly retail.
okay, and I think the board, that's what the board wants to do, we will need to amend. Okay,
So we're on.
I'm okay. wait a minute. Okay, we have to make a motion to amend local law 8.
Well,
I will.
with the language.
right, so we're not repealing the prior local law in its entirety. We're repealing that portion of the local law that opted the town out of retail cannabis dispensaries only.
That's correct.
So you can vote on that and I'll just.
Well, if we. Would it need to be a separate resolution? In other words, pass this? No,
No,
This
just
is,
take it out of the resolution.
you just hold off for it.
I
But you're
have no
repealing.
questions.
Wouldn't it be best to just go ahead and just hold off?
I think what we need to do is continue the public hearing.
Agreed.
We need to, instead of closing the public hearing, I need to amend this. This is more of a change than just a small change. I think what we need to do is, you can set a date either for the October meeting, or if you want to do it beforehand at one of the work sessions, if you want to continue the public hearing for a couple of weeks, that's fine. But I don't think they should be voted on this evening.
Second, that.
Okay, make a motion to table.
So you
Well,
keep
Oh, no,
I would
the
do a
public
public hearing.
hearing's
I would-
the public hearing
We
open.
closed it
I
already.
would, well, you can
Reopen.
rescind the motion to close the public hearing, and you can continue the public hearing to whatever date you select, and I'll make some changes to this.
So we could do it at a work session.
Yes,
Yeah, I would give it 2 weeks.
October 8th,
What?
October 8th.
So Brian, somebody make a motion to keep the public hearing open until October 8th, please.
I make a motion to keep the public hearing open until October 8th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And I'll make the revisions to this repeal law.
I make a motion to table the resolution.
Second.
Aye. Thank you. Alrighty. We'll do company comments. We'll start with Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Supervisor. So the building department for the month of August, they had 150 permits, issued 93 certificates of occupancy and completion, total fees collected $108,792, addressed 42 complaints and carried out 993 inspections. Water and sewer, there were multiple water service leaks that the department repaired last month, and there actually were 8 water main breaks that needed repairs as well. Again, great job by those guys and gals in that department, so just a big thank you. Townwide fall fire hydrant flushing will take place Monday, October 13th through Sunday, the 26th of October. The flushing schedule is also going to be put on the town's website if you have any questions. And it is possible if there's a hydrant in your neighborhood being flushed, have water that's a little discolored, it's technically safe to use and it should clear up quite quickly. The water levels in the town's wells, you know, we get our water supply from fairly shallow wells, in the scheme of things. They're not like hundreds of feet deep production wells. And that means they're very susceptible to the water table fluctuation. It's been very, very dry, as you noticed, for the last 2 months. So the water levels are lower. We're not at a point where we have to issue any restrictions yet. But please, you heard me mention in previous meetings, just refrain from any unnecessary water usage. Please don't water your lawn. You know, it's going to rain in the fall. So the roots are just dormant. They'll come back and they'll turn green. Water meter upgrade project, I mentioned previously, is off kind of to a slow start. The commercial meters are currently being replaced. Once they're all done, the contractor will move on towards residential. However, so right now, I can't say when that's going to be, but as soon as it's established, residents will be receiving another notification directly from National Metering Services. That's the contractor. They'll set up an appointment. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, reach right out to the water department. I'll address those. The Tower Drive water tank rehabilitation project, you notice right outside, is still ongoing, but it looks like it's winding down. Hopefully in a month or so that's completed. The Braeside well rehabilitation project is also just about done. There's one well left to do for being rehabilitated and put back into service. Should be done in a week or 2. Both of those projects, if you remember, are important step in addressing the presence of organics in our water supply, because the organics react with the chlorination from the disinfection products and makes the total trihalomethanes and other acetic acids that were issues that you heard us mention in the past, and if you got those mailers, because you're a water user in the town, have been fixed. But this is a step just to make sure that they don't come back by cleaning both of those out, taking care of that. The contractors for the lift station, SCADA, it's basically a supervisory controlled data acquisition system, have been signed, and the contractor is going to start soon. For the most part, that allows for remote control and monitoring of the different levels and wastewater pump stations throughout the town. So it's kind of like a real-time thing, so you can see what's going on right from one location. So that's good. And the operation maintenance, as always, is every day, 365 days a year, so great job, everybody there, thanks, Kurt. Comments, I do just want to apologize for not being at the 9/11 ceremony, that's something that I take to heart every year, lost some friends and people that I know in that tragedy, so we had an open house scheduled at Pine Bush High School, and as a teacher, obviously I had to be there. So I just want to say that, what I understand, it was a very good ceremony, very meaningful. Really, the only event is the trunk or treat. That's Saturday, the 25th of October, 3 to 5 p.m. here at Tower Drive. It's in the back parking lot. So put your costumes on, come out and hand out some candy to the kiddies. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Pinello.
Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna start off with something about 9/11. I wasn't able to make that either. Being there myself during that time, I have a couple of friends that were with me that day. And we swore from that point on that from that day on, we don't work, we hang out together, we work through our demons that have sometimes get a little unleashed during that time of year. So I just want to apologize for not being there.
That's fine. I understand.
Switching back to the other stuff. Golf course, still open, come out and play. It's fun. Hit some balls. Play a damn 9. Go play the full 18. It's a good time out there. Some events coming up. Yom Kippur is October 1st on Sunset through October 2nd. We have the trunk or treat, which is on Saturday, 25th of October, 3 to 5. I heard there might be aliens in the lot. And of course, we have Halloween for the general population to come knocking on your personal doors, October 31st, Friday. So that should be fun. Just everybody stay safe and stay focused.
Thank you. Councilman Pinello, Councilman Malapi.
Thank you, Supervisor. Start with our parks. They've been very busy and extremely productive with upgrades this month. The work that has been done throughout our parks, just to note, has all been done in-house by our workers, much dedicated worker. All the town of Walk Hill welcome signs throughout the town have been weed whacked, weed killer has been applied, and any trees that needed trimming were trimmed. Patio road tree line trim back along some of the homes as it were trimmed back as it interfered with sight distance and roadside parking. At Memorial Park in preparation of the September 11th memorial ceremony, the following work was completed by our staff. All trees, plants, bushes were trimmed, all beds were weeded and sprayed applied. All light poles that shine onto the memorial wall were pre-painted in chocolate brown. Both raised flower beds were restained in a dark redwood color, as well as all black bullets along the parallel parking spaces were touched up with a gloss black paint. Patio walkways around the memorial walls were edged. Lawn was cut twice and weed whacked for the day ceremony. So thank you for that to our staff. Dundee Park all yellow fence caps was removed and discarded. Bright orange fence caps were installed on all fencing. Orange was used as to the color of the word Walk Hill on our official logo. Approximately 1,200 feet of the fence cap was installed. All parking lot lines have been painted in white. If you remember back when we started using covering the tops of these fences, the yellow throughout the years have faded and also has become a home for some bees to set in. So the replacement of those has been greatly appreciated by all the residents that use our parks. Over at Washington Heights, old failing and slightly soccer goals have been removed and soon to be replaced with new ones. New orange fence cap again installed on the first baseline and third baseline, approximately 300 feet installed. This was in addition as to it never installed in the past. A large concrete footing removed from the playground. All parking lot lines have been repainted in the main parking lot. Basketball court lines repainted as well, and a large new USA flag added to our garage. Last but not least, 3 quotes have been received for the purchase of a new 10x12 shed to be used as a security shed to check guests into the park. A purchase rec was resubmitted this week, and we will be digging and pouring concrete slabs for the next couple of weeks, within the next couple of weeks. For our police department, our current staffing, our police is 54 full-time police officers. Our arrest records as of August 31st, 2025 were 773, down 13% versus 2024, which was 892. Our parking summons were down as well by 34%. And during the first 8 months of 2025, summonses that were issued were a total of 5,146 moving violations were issued. As far as staffing, on September 2nd, Sergeant Daniel Ward was promoted to lieutenant. This promotion enabled the chief to restructure the police department so that oversight and workflow will be divided into 2 groups: administration and operations. The new structure will be more consistent with the New York State accreditation standards. Our Police Community Council, on September 4th, the Police Community Council hosted its annual summer cookout. While the rain may have moved the party indoors, it did not discourage a large turnout, and a great time was had by all. The next meeting will be held 7 p.m. on Thursday, October 2nd, and will be held at the Community Center on West Warren Drive. Lou Ingrassia will be the guest speaker and will be providing an update on the Honor Flight program. Our Police Youth Coalition next meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. on October 21st and will be held at the Community Center. On September 4th, members of the police department responded to 38 Derby Road when reported injury. Despite the efforts of the first responders, including our officers, Town of Wallkill EMS and the Howes Fire Department, the injured party succumbed to his injuries. An investigation by our detectives disclosed that the victim, 45 years old, Livingston Manor resident, was fatally injured by a falling tree while this was cutting it down. So my condolences to the family, and my gratitude to the House Fire Department, to EMS, and to those that were there trying to help this individual survive. As far as comments, you heard it, our community day as we held this year was a great event. It was attended by probably the largest group that we've seen throughout since it started. One thing that was said by several of us was it was a day to celebrate our residents. It was a day to celebrate Wallkill as one community, as one person, as one, regardless of race, color, political affiliation. It was a day for all to come together and celebrate our neighbors and celebrate being Wallkill residents. And so I think that if I ask of anything, take that day and move it forward and live throughout the days moving forward, knowing that we are all neighbors, and there is enough hate and ugliness in the world. We don't need to add it and bring it here. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Cohen.
Okay, start with highway. For the month of September, we've been finishing up our 2025 paving. We've currently completed paving on the following roads: Woodstock Lane, Scotchtown Place, Heritage Crossing, and we'll be paving Scotchtown Drive next week. Once these roads are complete, we'll start crack sealing all driveway joints, centerline seams on roads that were paved over the last few years. We'll also be doing some road work prior to the asphalt plant's closing. We will be installing some drainage and repairing some drainage systems that required attention prior to winter. We'll be doing that for 6 weeks, starting mid-October. Typically on the second or third week of November, we'll start leaf collection. While leaves are being collected, plows, wings, and sanders will start to be installed onto our trucks for the winter snow season. Just a reminder that the leaf pickup is in the water district only. So if you have municipal water and sewer, yes, you are in the leaf pickup area, so you know, you can put your leaves at the roadside
Edge of the property.
edge of the property, better way to say it, and they'll be picked up. For most of us that are outside of that and live on the well and septic, we do not have leaf pickup. I want to talk about 9/11. 9/11 ceremony was great. We added a new walk this year, which I think was pretty well attended. I did not expect it to be as attended as it was. So I think that will only grow over time. And you know what? It also, because the walk ends right at where we have the ceremony, you know, it was better attended this year than it's been in a few years. So I hope that grows over the years, you know. We did unveil the new monument that is a 9/11 monument. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall Committee did. If you have not seen it, please go take a look. It's awesome. That eagle is ginormous and it is bright and it is just screaming American, you know? So, yeah. So go take a look at that. Also, I know I've said over the last couple of years that as soon as we're done with this monument, that we're done. I don't know, it doesn't seem to be the case. I think there's another one coming, so stay tuned. I'll inform you on that. Also a little bit of progress. We're getting quotes for a new sign that will hang over the new rail trail, the walkway that has now been named the Circleville Milk Trail. It's gonna be beautiful. I think probably well, by next meeting, I should be able to tell you, you know, exactly what it's gonna look like and who's gonna make it and all that fun stuff. We gotta get quotes, so we're working on that now, along with some other signs that'll be going along the trail. We definitely want to put one there that speaks to why it's called the Milk Trail and the history behind that. You know, Howard Mills's presentation tonight was great. It's something I saw about a year ago, probably now. Actually went to his house and he showed me the system. It's gonna be excellent, and it's, you know, we do a lot of fighting up here, you know, between the board members, because we all want our roads paved for our constituents. But this will kind of take that out of the way, and hey, you know, this road is in need before the road that you're asking for. So, and I think if the town board sticks with it, and you know, you gotta stick with this for probably a good solid 10-15 years, you know, we will have the best roads in Orange County. And the ultimate goal is not only to get there as having the best roads, but as Howard said, you know, now you're just maintaining, and the maintenance is a whole lot cheaper than it costs to pave, reconstruct, and all that fun stuff that comes with it. So, you know, again, 10-15 years down the road, you know, your paving budget will shrink drastically. I guess you'd have a maintenance line that would go up, but overall, it should be a lot less. And the commissioner is a young man. He's gonna be around for those 10-15 years, so I think it'll happen, and we'll have the best roads in Orange County for sure. So we're really proud of this system. So thank you.
Didn't you just have a birthday, aren't you, 45?
Yes. Thank you, Councilman. On 9/11 event, you know, it was great, you know. I understand how Councilman Miller feels, and living with those demons from that day, being up there, I can understand. It was a great event, walking from, up by the Elks coming down and seeing the people out and getting there, getting a chance to speak as, 9/11 event was great. It was a lot of people there. It was definitely good. Seniors, so we have our seniors meeting every Thursday. I had the opportunity to go see them. They didn't have too much. They're happy. I mean, it's right before their bingo game, so they wanted me to speak and get out of there. Don't get involved with their bingo. It was great. I want to take the opportunity to thank PMG and Howard Mills for coming out and doing this. And I want to thank the board for agreeing to this program. Like it was stated, it's a long-term goal and it's going to be good for the town going forward. Everyone knows front of the town hall is reopened. We did the sidewalks, we did the retaining walls. And certainly now we're gonna do some landscaping and also put our time capsule back in, so. If anyone out there have some stuff they want to put into the capsule, please, come to my office and we'll put it in there. Community Day, so we started this 4 years ago and, to bring this community together. And it was great to see all the people out there who have supported this event. We had great weather. The weather gods must like us on Community Day because we've been good. I want to thank DPW, Parks, Water and Sewer, Highway, who worked from morning to night to make sure that everything was done. I want to thank our vendors. I want to thank Lou Aberson from CHIJ, who is bringing the car show and the prostate cancer mobile unit, which unfortunately didn't make it because it caught a flat on 17 and it did not have a spare. So they were waiting, they actually didn't make it, but they were on their way. Overall, like I said, it was good. To the Queen of Freestyle, Judy Torres, thank you. Thank you for coming and doing a phenomenal job. Uga Boricua, who did the salsa, the Asian Pacific, who did instruments, and the Mexican dance group who did 2 sets of dancing. It's great. And again, you saw me that day on the stage. I was definitely with a big smile because it was great to see our community there and the people, the food trucks, and even the unicorn that was there. We found the unicorn, so we brought him out. It was a great day. So everyone who came, thank you. Everyone's involved, appreciate it. And let's not forget the Town of Walker Police Department. Just how good these ladies and guys are in the police department. There was a missing person from the city of Middletown that day who was missing for a couple hours, and the Town of Walker PD were able to find this young man in our crowd and return him back to where he had to go, where he was missing from. But that just shows the type of officers we have. Even though they're there guarding the public, they're still on top of doing their job, which is fantastic. One thing that we got going on in Town Hall, I believe it was announced, was gonna be announced, we're gonna have like what we do for Christmas, best decorated office. So that's gonna come out. We're gonna put it on social media so you can vote and see who's gonna be the best dressed office for Halloween. And then we'll also do one for Christmas. With that, all I want to say is, as you go forward and seeing what we did on Community Day and seeing what's going on in this world, and we have to be better. We have to be better as a society, be able to respect. I think that is the biggest thing, respect each other, because it's getting to the point where it's getting crazy. So all I want to say, anyone who was there felt good about community, being with your neighbors, being with your friends, meeting new people. Continue that. We got to be better. And as leaders, we have to lead by examples, and we have to be better. As we go into this new, this election season is coming up, we just got to be better than that. And I know each and every one of us are, and will hopefully take up the task. With that, Thank you. We'll move on, town clerk.
Thank you. The annual appeal will start for election inspectors. There are never enough election inspectors. As far as something you can do for your community, that is probably the top of the list. So we have the information in our office. You can go on the Orange County Board of Elections website. The pay for the day, it is a long day. The pay starts at $3.25 for the day. They will train you. You do get paid to take the training. And we cannot run elections unless we have inspectors. So if anybody's interested in that, please either check their website or give us a call and we will send you in their direction.
You have to be a town resident.
You do not. You have to be a registered voter. If you are 17 and your school district participates, I believe, in a program, I'm not sure what it's called, but there's a program that school districts participate in. And if they participate and you're 17, you do not have to be registered. They will allow you to be an election inspector. So if you have a high school or that, I think most of our local schools participate, they can act as election inspectors. Pencil Live has done some big things there. They built a brand new building, and I think that ribbon cutting is coming up in like a week or so. But this Saturday, they have their annual yard sale. That's from 9 to 4. And it's, they tell me it's kitten season, and they have a desperate need for funds. So if you want to stop by there, and then I think it's October 4th, we're actually having a ribbon cutting on a tremendous building that they put up with the help of, I think, some superstars and just some regular folks like us who have donated. This Saturday, is the Orange County Volunteer Firemen's Parade, and it takes place in the village of Monroe. We have 6 volunteer companies in the town of Wallkill, and I believe they are all participating. And Bertie told me that the retired commissioner will be the MC at that parade, unless he gets a grandchild before then. So it's going to be a great parade. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. So if you can get down to Monroe and support those folks, I believe there's 42 volunteer fire companies that will be taking part in that parade. It's right downtown. It's right in the village. Starts on 17M and goes right to the pond there. And that's all I have. Thank you.
That,
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Louisa, that is, the ribbon cutting is October 4th, you know. It's from 10 to 12.
Okay, Commissioner Dillon.
Thank you, Supervisor. To expand a little on the water sewer side, the pump station skater project that Councilman Johnson mentioned. So through bidding process, Rotolo was awarded that contract as lowest bidder. The contracts are signed, and we are looking to have a pre-construction meeting early this coming week. And we are in a bit of a hurry with that one because the grant runs out before the end of the year. So luckily, all the things we're going to be installing are low lead time items, but that'll be a tight timeline. And then the Casuga generator project, which is a grant project that we were awarded, which I believe I mentioned last board meeting, by the New York State Department of Homeland. That has been submitted to Orange County Department of Health. And once we get review comments back from them, the design is effectively done, and we'll be able to put that right out on the street to get it bid and start building. For parks, as was mentioned, we're working on final touches for outside. So landscaping is obviously the big one. We're working on what plants we want to put out there and what we want to do with the beds. And then just yesterday, Supervisor Mike put in a rec for capstones. We're going to do a dark charcoal, almost black capstone that'll, in theory, kind of tie in with the coping that we have on the top of the roof. The dock for Circleville, so we ripped out the old ADA dock at Circleville Park up at the lake. And we've now ordered and will be taking delivery of that new dock the end of, well, hopefully beginning, but more likely end of next week. And then we're also going to be getting delivery of all the benches, tables, everything that I've been talking about for various parks in 4 to 6 weeks. For highway, we are hoping to be done with paving. Second week of October is kind of the end all be all date. because we want to get into crack sealing before we really get thrown into leaves. And one other thing that I definitely do get a lot of calls about, and I want everyone to know, I'm not ignoring them. We do have streetlights out across the town. And we have a running list of them. We also have a program not so different from the pavement management that allows us to see all the streetlights and the nodes. They give feedback on if they're out, if they have a fault. So we are well aware of them, and once we finish paving, looking like the middle of October, we'll be able to start putting some time addressing the lights. Hopefully, it's just an out bulb, and we'll be able to do a quick swap if it's more substantial and we have breaks in the wire or gets to the point where we have to replace a pole. That is probably gonna end up waiting until the winter time. And then just a FYI, if anyone cares, New York Rangers regular season starts October 7th against the Penguins. Thank you.
Who cares about hockey, Boomer?
Okay. Chief Herman, you're up.
Can I start with sports?
Absolutely.
That's a winning 3-1.
They got a long way to go. Yankees clinch, right?
Controlling their own, Yankees look really good this year. That's controlling their own destiny.
For now.
I'll be brief, and we'll move on to public business. So this past week, we had a meeting on Oak Ridge Apartments. Brian Davis, members of the community council, and with Deborah and Jean were also there. They've been, the group from Oak Ridge Apartments, East Main Street, and obviously in consultation with Councilor Vella. We've been meeting with them at community council meetings, or immediately subsequent to, and they relatively give us to host a meeting to air out some of the issues there. They're primarily dealing with quality of life issues there, nothing that's extremely burdensome from a police perspective for the most part, but nonetheless, the management company represented at the meeting. And I believe we have a great strategy from the civil perspective of the management company to address 2 apartments in the course of the main problems that their residents are facing. But nonetheless, this group is very involved. There's supposed to be a group of representatives. I thought it was gonna be 3 or 4 people, about 15 there the other night. And there's gonna be a very active block watch group. They're in charge of everything that's going on there. So we look forward to working with them in the future. And like I said, I anticipate it's gonna be a very, very active block watch. Quick comment on special needs children, especially children with autism. So on September 18th, Sergeant Pons from our department attended a seminar hosted by Orange County Mental Health, dealing with contemporary issues that law enforcement face with mental health issues, especially those with autism with children. And we were selected to receive a fully funded room, custom-made room. They're coming next week, and I'll be sharing this with town board, that includes sensory items to create a calming space. 2 weeks ago, George knows we had a young child that was nonverbal that had special needs in our department. He wound up in my conference room, and we had no special sensory device other than pen and paper to give him and have him help him draw and things like that. But we really need something like this because we do encounter youth. They're not. They come into our care, is what's called an ADA case. They're abandoned, neglected, abused, and they're in our station until we find, absent them receiving medical services for imminent or just an acute issue. They're on custody, for lack of a better term, and they're literally wind up in my conference room, and we tend to their needs in there. So they're coming next Tuesday. They're gonna evaluate one of the rooms that they can use in the MRT room. That would be perfect mobile response team for mental health, that we already have an office in there with them. I think their room will put these sensory devices in there, and we count to these children, we're in our custody, but hopefully a relatively short period of time. The room will be better geared to being able to accommodate their special needs. So I look forward to the meeting next week, and then we'll find out what exactly is involved, but they say it's no cost to us, they're gonna fully fund it. And then our SROs. So we have 6 SROs, school resource officers in all our schools all the time. I know Councilman Valentin talked about this at the last meeting, and talked about also the last meeting here, spoke about it, and also last meeting council meeting. So we have 6 school resource officers in our schools every day that the school's open. And they do a great job. Nonetheless, despite their best efforts, we've seen a dramatic increase over the past few years in violence and cyber threats, in some cases up over 1,000% in some of our schools. We see it as an issue, the schools see it as an issue, and the way to address it is collaboration. It's not the school solving all, it's not the police solving all, it's not the parents solving all, it's working together. So having these officers in schools and being the police chief, dealing with cyber threats, being up over 1,000% sometimes, I had to develop a strategy for my SROs when they interact with youth. And my research disclosed that this is going to cost a lot of money. And thanks to Senator Skoufis, we received that money. So we have funding now to implement the pilot project. There'll be future information coming on this. We're not going to get into it without the senator here. but nobody else is doing anything like this. Well, I know that because I'm in the process of interviewing all the consultants we're bringing on board to help us design this program. It's going to address emotional intelligence, nonviolent conflict resolution, social media issues, cyberbullying, and financial needs. No one's ever done anything like this. Once again, I know this from all the great consultants we brought in nationally. They're going to consult, and with the consent of the school district, we're going to roll out a pilot in each of the 2 school districts in January. One pilot in each of the 2 school districts. It's going to be middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And we anticipate that we're going to enjoy great success, and it's going to help reduce those incidents. And I think it's going to put us on the map. It's such a unique program that is something that others will be modeling down the road. Thank you.
The one thing about the program, and I stated this at the police community council meeting, you know, if you remember, they used to be in the schools, used to be the DARE program, and the DARE program addressed drugs and smoking and everything. And this program it includes that, but it deals with today's issues that these kids are dealing with, as the chief said, you know, cyberbullying and everything on social media. So it's a different level of attention to what the kids are dealing with, but it addresses their current situations in today's world.
You know, just to add to that, Chief, I want to, say thank you to you. Chief Herman's been here 20 years, and, someone got in place for so long, and, you wonder if they still, have the energy to do the job, but, that is a great idea that you've come up with, and I know you brought it up 2 years ago, and, just Senator Schoolfishers gave us the funding for it. Thank you. I mean, to be able to come up with an idea like that and pursue it and, get a state senator to give you funding, and we're that much closer to, and I can just know that once this comes out, you're gonna be very happy, because I mean, here we are in town of Walk Hill, and we're doing it, there's a reason why, something happened the other day, and now we've chosen to have this room, for, any kids that we bring in who might have some issues, so it's great. With that, we go to public participation. Any item, 3 minutes, anyone could come up and speak.
Okay. Back. I'm out in resident in Circleville on Renton Road. Most of you know Renton Road from Butcher Library, you come out of the school, that little street, very quiet. There's a quality of life issue which is getting disturbing to me and all my neighbors. That private contractors are operating at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. They are waste removal people, but they are private contractors. Why are they allowed to operate that early in the morning? A couple months ago, 2:13 in the morning, these huge trucks, lights, noise, and then 15 minutes later, the recycling trucks come through. Why are they permitted to operate in a residential area at that time of night? I don't know if the county waste is the biggest offender. And if you would maybe want to talk to them and maybe have them readjust their schedule to do commercial pickups at that time. And then on Saturday morning, they could come in and do the residential.
Yeah.
I think, what is the time for contractors to begin work? 6 AM or 7 AM?
It's,
Even if you let them come at 5, we wouldn't have a problem with that. But it's usually when there's a holiday on the Saturday morning at, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It was just a couple of weeks ago, Chief Herman, your people saw one. They, your officers were chasing someone, and they saw this huge truck coming out of my road. And that was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And they turned down, of course, it turned into a dead end, and your officers got them. Thank you. Without that truck, they would have flew past and never even knew my street was there. And all of my neighbors are getting upset with this too, because it seems like it's getting earlier and earlier that they're doing this. And, it just can't happen. It's a quality of life. And people working all week long on their day off, they shouldn't have to get up 4 o'clock in the morning.
I agree.
So I wonder if you gentlemen would be able to address that with them, if they could work something else out.
Okay.
I'd really appreciate it.
Find out. Yes,
So is that only when your trash is picked up, like the day of your trash pickup? That this is happening, or are they coming?
Yeah, like when the holidays run on Monday and there's no trash pickup. They adjust their schedule
Right,
for
one
that
day
one
for
day.
everybody, yeah, 'cause they have to do.
Why
all the pickup.
Saturday morning? I mean, for residential?
Your pickup is normally on Monday?
Whenever they have a suspension of
It just
pickup,
gets pushed back a
they
day.
have to make up for it.
Right, so I'm saying like normally, what is your normal pickup without?
My normal pickup is Wednesday morning.
So Thursday morning should be the pickup when there's a holiday, because it just moves ahead one day.
That would work.
But I normally-
If they
that's
did
what
it at a
happens.
normal time, that would work. The point is that they shouldn't be able to operate that early in a residential setting. They need to readjust their schedule with their commercial pickups, which they do during the day on Saturday. I've seen them do it, so they could adjust that way.
Yeah, I think his point is that not so much the day that they're picking up, but it's the time.
The
that
time
they're
of day,
picking
yeah.
up.
I'm trying to understand though, why they would be there on a Saturday if your normal pickup is on a Wednesday.
Oh, he.
That's just how they do it.
So,
That's, in fact, we don't use county waste because of that, but my neighbors still do.
Gotcha.
So whenever there's a Monday lapse, that's where they tend to make it up, and I don't know why. And that time of day just doesn't work in a residential setting. It's a quiet little street. There's not even no streetlights. So, you know.
Thank you.
So,
We're kind of about.
Quick question.
so you don't use county waste? What do you use?
Not anymore, I don't. I use Bullseye. It's a different company called Bullseye, and they have very small trucks and they always come after 5 AM. They don't
Okay.
come, they
So
don't
it's
come.
not Bullseye. It's-
No, County Waste
County waste is your.
always does it.
Okay.
Once in a while, interstate, but not too often.
Yeah.
It's usually the county waste trucks.
Okay.
You know, they're huge, noisy, they're crazy.
Yep.
But that, you know, that time of night, it's unacceptable. Like,
Gotcha.
It's a real quality of life problem now.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you, Jim.
Anyone on Zoom? Anyone in the audience?
Hi, it's Jim Moore. Yesterday in the work session, there was a line item for $200,000 for auditing work. And I was wondering if we could get a little clarity on what that was for. Because back in April, there was another $150,000 item on auditing work. Right now, the town is behind on the audits. The annual financial review for 2024 isn't available, or 23, or even 22. In fact, the only audit we have is an old audit about, from our auditing company from, I think it's 2021, about how we have so many accounts that are open and they're not being reconciled. I'm just wondering if we get more clarity on why we need all these audit. We have a full-time controller, we have a deputy controller, and we have a full accounting department. So, what are these expenses for? Because it was only just one line item. It had a gentleman's name and a company, but it had no like work breakdown of what they're doing for us.
Well, they're consultant, one is a consultant and RVT we've always used. They're working with our controller and the deputy controller to fix the issues that were there. 22 is closed, 22 is on the New York State website. If you go there, it will be there, it should be there. I was told it's there by New York State,
When was it done?
about.
It's done in June.
I put a FOIA request in for it. A month ago, 2 months ago.
I didn't have it on the board.
Oh, okay. So maybe at the state site you're saying?
Yes, on the state
That's
side.
22,
That was
I mean.
told, 22, yes.
Okay, yeah. What about 23 and 24?
We're working on it now. As you know that in the past, when I took over, it was, oversight was taken away from the controller. And now there wasn't that many people. Now we do have a deputy and a controller, 2 part-timers in there.
Okay, for separation of duties.
And then we separated duties also in HR. So now we got an HR person and payroll. So they're working very diligently on trying to get everything done. I can just tell you that over the last 3 years, every employee has been paid, every bill has been paid. And, going around saying, everyone's saying the money's missing. So if money's missing, please present the receipts because that's what you're saying. Now.
Oh, no, I'm not
no,
saying that. I'm just
part of that-
wondering why we have so much money being spent on audit this year as opposed to prior
Because
years.
we have, a consultant and also that money, and what's also gonna be used for, O'Connor Davis, who's gonna also help to try to, work on 23 and 24. Like I stated yesterday, if you remember correctly, I said hopefully 23, 24 will be done, within the next 2 months.
Okay, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So just to add to that, you remember back then, the department was stripped down to one person, two people. And so I think that this entire town board was diligent in investing into the department, and rebuilding the department to where it should be. And that is with help of consultants, and RBT was always a consultant with, going back many years, with the work that they do in doing the checks and balances for the department. The consultant is also helping in the work that he does with the controller, but he's also helping in creating process and procedures that are equal and the same. So the next person, your time's up. The next person that comes into employment can now reference a book and say, okay, this is done. And everyone is doing the same way. Every check is coming in and going into the same spot. So that consultant that you question is helping to build those processes in ensuring that the department is run the way it should be run, with everyone doing it the same way across the board. So the next person that comes in can reference a book, reference a manual, reference anything that is in the department, and knows that that's where it's done.
Could I ask just one more question?
Go right ahead, because, I want to give you an opportunity because
That last audit, that's the only one I can find out there from 2021. It had 60 accounts that were open. Do we know how many accounts we have open? for
we have
town?
about the same amount of numbers.
About the same?
No, I don't think so.
Because one of the items was that they don't reconcile these, which means we can't close our books right.
That is not, they are being reconciled. They are. There were issues prior to me coming into office, yes, and we've been addressing them. All what you're referring to, back to
Yeah.
21, 22 is on website. You go to the state, and I got an email from them
Okay.
that it's on there. So, the actual report itself from O'Connor Davies, I believe the, town clerk will be getting it within the next couple of days.
Okay, so you'll post it then. Okay, okay.
Just to add, I know with, you're asking these questions and there is a concern, and there should always be a concern when it comes to taxpayer money. I understand that. But when you're gonna put out information, make sure you put out correct information. That's all I'm saying.
Everything I said was true.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just adding that to my comments, because I've heard a lot of things that people are saying in regards to that, and I understand that, there is a concern with taxpayer money, but I can guarantee you and say that no one is stealing money from
I
this.
didn't say
Now,
that.
I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying in general, because I know this is where it's gonna go the next time around. So,
I came to the point in July 9th work session, there was $72,000. And a light item was that was recovered from accounts that were dormant since 2016. So the concern is, it was 72,000 and you split up between the different funds and stuff, but that's what I'm worried about, is this money lying around that we're not aware of. And that's what they're in here to do. Okay, but that wasn't specified on there, just a one line item, so it kind of makes you wonder, that's 350,000 that we're spending additional on accounting for this year. Why weren't we doing that stuff earlier? So by now we have all these problems resolved.
Well, unfortunately, we've had, as you are aware, we've had numerous controllers. And if you are involved in finance, I am not, but with my understanding of different individuals have different experience, they put their fingers on the books, sometimes they do it different. So if there's something done different, then we gotta go back and fix it, so.
One of the recommendations in 2021 was to document this, so they have a consistent procedure.
That's what I just stated, right? That's what the consultant let me hear, you made a comment. That's what the consultant has been doing since he was hired, along with working with the department to get it streamlined where everyone as the supervisor said, people were doing things differently. This person would come in, they would do it differently. This person came in, they would do it differently. That's not the case anymore. And it's an investment into the department that is way overdue.
Yes.
And it's an investment into a department that was stripped by the prior supervisor. And it's way overdue. We're getting it right.
Because of her
It's
lack of
being
doing
done
her
right.
job.
I didn't ask for your comment.
Yes.
We're doing it right and the processes that are being created,
Come on,
the
no.
processes that are being created are what it should be done in that department. So do you have to spend money to get it to where it should be? Absolutely. And it's an investment in the department and in the town.
But this was 2021, that's what I'm saying. A
Okay,
long time coming, and it's good it's happening,
right,
but that's a long way to wait for it to be.
Well, let me just say
Right.
this.
well, I'm not, we could be going back instead of going
We're
forward.
not gonna debate it, and you know what? I don't wanna sit here and blame people, who was doing the job. Problem is that when I came into office, things were not good. There were many things we had to fix. And if we have to spend the money to fix it, I believe that the residents of the town of Walker deserve it to be fixed. And if it's gonna cost a little money to fix it, we gotta do it.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
That's the bottom line. You
so
know,
that line item should have a little more details to it, so we understand what's going on.
well,
and
that's
it's
your
good to
value to
see
your opinion,
that
and
it's
I
going-
appreciate it. Thank you.
Going forward.
Thank you.
You know, I'd like to add something because, you know,
Oh, here we go.
yeah, here we
Here
go.
we go.
Here we go.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
speak the
Steve.
truth.
Yeah,
So,
see,
so
you haven't
Jim,
spoken
you're
the
the,
truth
you're
in
the
the last
Democrat.
26 years.
Yeah, you don't
Yes.
know anything what you're
And-
talking about.
That's
Keep
right.
lying
You
about
keep
people,
leaving me in the
keep
dark.
lying about people, keep making up these stories
Hang on.
and go campaigning on it, okay?
That's-
Try and be
that's-
honest for once in
Yeah,
your life.
gentlemen.
Try and be honest and say something
You can
truthful
look in
for
the
once in
mirror
your
and
life,
actually say that?
okay? Yeah, I serve the people, not the party like you do.
Uh-huh.
Quit lying about everything that's out there.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So-
Mr. Moore, that's
so-
it, enough. Let him speak and, you know,
Oh,
it's
wait,
enough.
he's talking
We gotta make this a political thing,
Should
okay?
No, he's making a
But
comment.
you know what? You know what? The bottom line is, people lie. You called me the
bottom
other
line
day
is, right
saying that I
now-
was stealing money.
Right now, things are finally starting to be worked on.
No
Yes,
thanks to
now-
you.
Now, we started
Excuse me?
working on it.
No thanks
a
to
while
me.
ago.
Yeah,
You
no
voted
thank
no
you.
to
you.
spend the money, remember?
That's right, because you guys wouldn't give me an answer yesterday.
Got,
And that's
Same
my
thing, we can
question.
spend it
Right.
all year, reorganize the department, same thing.
You voted for the consultant. You were there.
I
You
voted
knew
for
what
the
he was
consultant to
doing.
come in.
You
I
knew what
voted
he
for the
was
consultant
doing.
to come
You were
in.
given the
I
whole
voted for
job
him to go ahead and do
description.
his
You were
job,
given
and
his
here you are
resume.
throwing Another two
okay?
hundred thousand dollars of a problem into it, without explaining why. And I asked why, and you didn't bother to explain it yesterday. So instead of me going ahead and saying I have a problem with this one line item and going ahead and saying no on that, you said I had to do the whole thing. Which, fine, I did.
Okay,
That was my question, that's why, okay. Okay.
thank you. Mark, you wanna ask?
nah, I don't wanna say that.
Okay. Johnson, you wanna add?
Negative.
All right, that was interesting. That was very interesting. You know why it's interesting? Because what this is politics. And, you know, this ain't the form for it. Because, you know, let's be realistic. I came into office, there were problems. And we've tried to fix it. And I think we're in a better place than we were in January of 2022. We are. Okay, we are. The situation with 21 and 22 was bad. Okay, however we got there, we got there. My job was trying to move forward, and I don't believe, I know we've done that. Whether you want to accept it or not, whether Steve Janella want to accept it, Eric, you, Mr. Moore, anybody else. The bottom line, people are upset because of the craziness. Just recently, it was stated that I was stealing the hotel tax money. And if people take the time to read the law that was written by my predecessor, it states that the checks for the hotel tax goes to the supervisor. So if you're gonna put stuff out there and say that George Serrano, the supervisor, is stealing money and putting the hotel checks in his personal account, first of all, I will hope that everyone on this board would know me better, know that that makes no sense. I would not do that. But if this is the politics they want to play, put it out there, okay, be it. That's what it is. With that being said, I make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.